tanks that moto. Out on my new Tuono. Absolutely loving it. That noise. Done a few miles on the bike now. It's fully running. It's had its first service. Just really enjoying getting to explore the higher RPM range. It really does turn into a bit of a super bike and just howls and wails up top. This bike, yeah, it's exceeded my expectations, to be honest. It really is some machine. The NTN was a little bit more light-hearted, I suppose. This could be a little bit more serious. We want to extract, anywhere near to what it can do in terms of performance. It's got a lot of character though, even just sort of cruising around, it sort of pops and crackles. Probably won't come across on the camera, but for a stock Euro 5 setup, it's quite unbelievable, really. Serious performance. It does take a bit of muscling around when you start pushing on with it. A little pop as it goes through the gears is addictive. Definitely need good brakes on this bike. She is. But it really is a weapon, this bike. Put the Evotech radiator guards on. What a job that was to put them on. Bloody hell. Take half the bike apart. What else have we done? Got some sort of clear, whatever they call it. That clear film that protects the paint, PPF, whatever it is. RNG tank protectors, because I discovered that the tank scuffs pretty easy. It's not a big deal, you can polish it out, but yeah, these tyres are pretty phenomenal as well. I noticed a couple little tears. I don't know what this is it maybe that's normal, I don't know, but yeah, this is pretty cool as well. You can adjust the traction control on the fly. Got got an Evotech lever guard as well. 100 quid, a bit ridiculous, but looks well made. So I'm quite tempted to do a few track days. It's a bit of a nice bike to sort of hoon around track, but as long as I don't go too mad. But yeah, so far so good. I've really warmed to it. It's nice when you buy something and it turns out to be better than you thought it would. Suspension's pretty amazing as well, to be honest. It's semi-active, the EC2. Run a little bit hot at times in stop and go traffic. That's been the only real sort of negative so far, touch wood. Quite an interesting one actually. I spoke to Aprilia and their excuse was because it gets really hot, sort of 115 degrees hot if you're stationary, and it's almost like the fans struggle to sort of bring it back down to temperature. I know that it makes a lot of horsepower, it's going to run hot, but yeah, they said the coolant that it ships with goes down to -40, and they think that's the reason why. So the first service they swapped out the coolant for a I think it was a Motul one that doesn't go down to -40, and it's knocked about 5 degrees off of the running temperature, so it has worked. A bit of an odd one. But yeah, I don't think there's too much headroom with the cooling system. It's not like a Japanese bike, you couldn't just leave it there idling all day long. So yeah, it's fine when you're moving, and what's it now? It's gone up to about, what, 94 is that or something? Because we're going slow, but it normally sits around 70, 80s, which is normal. Cruise control. Little practical features like that, especially if you did any kind of motorway work. And when I compare it to that V2, it's a bit sparse really, the features on that V2. That was a great bike, don't get me wrong, but it kind of wanted to live at the top end. It didn't have much in the way of sort of mid-range. Make it a little bit dull, I suppose, when you're not getting after it. I think because of the V4 and the noises and the pops and the crackles, even when you're just cruising, you know, it's still engaging, which is a big part really. But yeah, I love it. It's a great bike. The paint finish certainly ain't as good as what you'd find on a Ducati or a Yamaha or a Japanese bike. You know, if you look closely, there's little imperfections and stuff, you know. A lot of it's hand sprayed as well. You can see like the odd little mark, or this one hasn't got any runs, but when I was in the showroom, I was looking at the black and gold ones there, and a couple of them actually had paint runs on the tank, which I thought was pretty amazing really in 2022. Maybe they were a Friday bike. For this one, thankfully there's no runs or anything like that, but you can just tell that the overall sort of, like, you know, lack of finish and that probably ain't up to what it would be if you bought Street Fighter V4 or whatever. But I mean, I quite like detailing in general, like, you know, polishing, waxing, ceramic coatings and stuff. You know, you can make this look $1 million. The screen is bloody amazing as well. Everyone raves about BMW screens, but I mean, I don't think this one's too far off. You know, it's got a similar sort of, probably won't come across on the camera, but like a purpley sort of tinge where it's got that anti-reflective coating and like it's super vivid.